My name is Brandon Sims. I'm 26 years old. I got into motorsports when I was young. I don't think I can remember the exact age, but I do remember my parents taking me out from a young age. Probably about the same time I learned to ride a bicycle, I was also riding or driving something with a motor. I was probably around of age 2 or so. I've been coming out to the sand dunes for probably 23 years now, 24 years. One of the things I really enjoy about coming out here is that there's really no destination. It's all about picking a place, pointing the direction you want to go maybe, and going. It doesn't matter where you're going, but we all like to race to get to nowhere. I mean, we're always going as fast as possible to get to no particular area.
Glamis, it's hard to put in words. I think a lot of people who've never been here look at us and like, wow, what the most easily amused people in the world. Give them a big sandbox and they're amused for days. It's just the total environment. You can come out here. It's like a big car show. People who like to go to car shows and see classic cars and stuff. That's like what this is. You come out here and you see all these things that people have made and designed and all these cool different machines. If you have any kind of love for mechanics or machines, engines, this is just a huge show. On top of that, you get to ride in some of the most extreme terrain in the middle of the desert, where you go to another country and they're like, wow, why would you want to go there? We hate this place. You can't do riding like this anywhere else.
We lined up on the drags, and we're going to drag race my friend, and there's what they call whoops in the drags, and they're just large rolling bumps, and we took off at that point and made it halfway down the drags when we bottomed out just right, and an oil line ripped off the engine.
I was actually there. We were actually racing each other down the drags. I was just barely ahead of him, and then I looked back at the end and he wasn't there, so I turned around. I came back, he was just rolling on the ground on fire.
We were at home, we were packing up to go snowboarding, and it's a phone call you never want to get. It was around 4:30 in the afternoon, and you kind of get that call that you never expect. He called around 4:30 and said, Dad, I've been in an accident. And you just don't want that call. You don't know how bad. So you just suck it up, and you got to be strong for them. And you just don't know how bad they are. The kids are strong. They don't tell you how serious it is. After the accident, he stood up and his legs fell off of him. The skins literally hit the feet. It doesn't really matter what's going on in the world. All that matters is if he's going to be okay. You forget about work, you forget about life, you forget about anything other than him.
We drove to Brawley. I went and got my truck. We drove to Brawley, going about 110 the whole way, passing tons of cars at a time. It was crazy. And then we got there, and that's really when I knew it was bad, when there was a line of patients there and they just pretty much wheelchaired them all right to the front and didn't make them even wait in a line.
The pain from here to the town of Brawley was probably the worst excruciating pain I've ever had. I spent the next month in the Maricopa burn unit recovering from 3 different skin graft surgeries, trying to walk again. It was, the hardest time that I've ever had. I was able to go to physical therapy for a few months. I would go into the physical therapist, and I was supposed to be on a wheelchair, and I'd hobble my way in on my feet. They'd ask me to do, 10 reps of something, I'd do 20. They'd ask me to bicycle for 10 minutes, and I would, do 20 or 30 minutes. I wanted to get back on my feet as quick as possible.
Unfortunately, what we do is dangerous. There is a risk involved to it. With everything that's great comes a risk, and it's no different than driving your vehicle. Just because somebody has an accident, gets hurt in an accident on the road, doesn't mean I'm going to stop driving my truck. It's the same way in motorsport. I know Brandon feels the same way. You have to get up on that horse again.
I'm not mad about it. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm not scared. I will get right back in the car. I do now. And I'll continue to come back. I'll bring my kids here. That's going to be, as long as it's open, this is where I'd like to spend most of my time.
Glamis in one word. Epic.
Insane. Party. Chaos.
All I can think of when I think of Glamis is, freedom. Just enjoy it. You're so free out here. There's no speed limits. There's nowhere telling you where to go. It's as close to being free as I could think, and that's what I think America's about is, being free. And this is it.